You can either learn the easy way or the hard way. And I prefer the easy way, right? The hard way is we make mistakes ourselves and we learn from those mistakes. The easy way is we learn from other people's mistakes. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you common regrets of recent retirees so that you don't make these mistakes. Let's go for a walk and we'll talk about it. So basically there's two categories of regrets that recent retirees make. One is what I call regrets of the wallet. Things that people bought, invested in that they wish they hadn't. And the other is what I call regrets of the heart. Things that they wish they had spent their time doing, relationships they had, things like that. So let's start with the wallet, but I'm telling you the thing that is the needle mover for most people is regrets of the heart. So stay to the end. Okay, regrets of the wallet. And this is where people spend money and they look back and say, you know, I didn't get a whole lot from that. I wish I'd rethought that. Okay, and I get flack for this. I mention it a lot, but it's because it is a big deal. The first one is buying a nice, expensive car as soon as you retire. I met somebody the other day that was telling me when they retired, not only did they buy one Porsche, but they bought two brand new Porsches to kind of celebrate retirement. And then they found out that in retirement for them, they were spending more money in retirement than they had thought. So they didn't have as big of a buffer as that they had hoped. And you know what? They really wish they hadn't bought those two Porsches. In fact, they don't own either of those anymore because they realized they needed to cut back and they needed additional income. And two Porsches is an extreme. But I think a lot of people buy that new car to celebrate. They say, I've worked my whole life. Now, you be you, and you make the decision that's right for you. If you really love cars and you're going to get a lot of joy out of it, it's your money. You worked hard for it. Spend it the way you want. I'm just sharing with you common regrets of retirees. Okay, the second one is big, expensive gifts, either to themselves or to their adult children. So things like buying a boat. What else do I have on here? Buying a boat. I mentioned the car. Maybe buying a second home. That's one of my 3 rules. Remember, it's one house, one spouse, and no matter how much you make, you always spend less than what you earn, right? So the second house can be a big gift, a big expense for yourself. And then another regret can be over supporting the kids. You know, they're getting close to retirement, or they retire, and maybe the kids want to go to graduate school, or they want to do something, and it tends to be on the educational front, and mom and dad want to support them or give them a down payment, or loan them a down payment. Loan is much better than giving the down payment for a house. But you know, for many of the things that people want to do when they're young, like go to graduate school, maybe go to coding boot camp, which could have a great return on investment. You know, for many things that people want to do when they're young, there are loans available in order to do that. But there are no loans for retirement. So be careful when you do something like that. Oftentimes retirees will say, you know, we called it a little close and now we're having to watch our nickels and dimes in retirement. And we wish we had just told our kids, you know, sorry, if you want to go to graduate school, you're going to have to take out a loan for that. And, you know, if they've already got their undergraduate degree, even if it's a great return, if your retirement numbers are tight, the biggest gift we can give our kids is for mom and dad to be financially independent. So that's the last regret of the heart. Of the wallet. But now let's get into the regrets of the heart. And these are the things that can really cause pain for retirees. These tend to, you know, regrets of the heart are things you can't undo that you really wish that you could undo. But before we get to these regrets of the heart, if you're finding this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button. As the kids say, thumbs for likes and subs for love. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. And leave me a comment. I really do enjoy reading the comments. Okay, so the first regret of the heart that we want to talk about is letting relationships fizzle out. You know, as we get older, Relationships are just so important. It's one of the criteria that they say is one of the primary differences between people that have a lot of joy in retirement and people that don't. People that don't have a lot of satisfaction, or sad, are lonely, are subject to depression, is the quality of their relationships, right? It's quality of relationships. It's having purpose in your life and meaning in your life. So a common regret of the heart is letting relationships fizzle. If you've got a buddy or a friend from high school or undergrad, and while you were working and raising your kids, you weren't able to spend a lot of time together, well, maybe now in retirement is the time to rekindle that relationship. And of course, the most important relationships in your life are with your family, your kids, your spouse, your parents, things like that. If there's been things in the past that maybe has caused stress or tension, is there a way to rekindle those relationships? So I always tell people, when I get into an argument or things get heated, I tell them that I'm much more interested in the R, which stands for relationship, than the R that stands for me being right. Who cares if you're right or not, right? I mean, we're probably not going to sway other people's opinions, but the R for relationship is really important. Okay, another regret is not spending more time on their health. When people retire, right? Once your health is gone as you get older, it's really hard to get it back. So if you're not taking time to go to the gym, if you're not doing what you can to stay fit, and you know what? I don't have a 7-minute mile in me anymore when I run a 5K, but I can still run occasionally at a slower pace. I can still lift weights to keep my muscle mass up, right? I'm not trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or anybody. I can still stretch, I can do yoga, and I encourage you to stay active, to keep moving, because that's a common regret. Once people lose their health, they're like, why didn't I spend more time on my health? Why didn't I try to eat as healthfully as I could? Why didn't I go to the gym more? Stuff like that. So focus on your health more if you can. Again, if you're enjoying this video, give me a thumbs up. It really does make a difference. Okay, the next one is urgency. Not having urgency to do what they wanted to do. To have urgency with their life, with the weeks that are remaining in your life. I've said before, if you're 60 years old, you likely have less than 1,000 weeks remaining of healthy active time. And, to be candid, that's a very optimistic view of the world. If you're 60 years old, unfortunately, you likely have less than that until you give up your healthy active time. Because remember, health span is quite a bit less than lifespan. A 60-year-old is a male is likely going to live until early 80s, 80, 81, 82. So there's your 1,000 weeks, but that's lifespan, that's not health span. So that's another regret. And then frankly, the biggest regret that people have is not taking full advantage of the youth of their senior years and not retiring sooner if they can. And that's why I produced this video over here, where I talk about the 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Again, over here, 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. You don't want to miss that one, and you certainly don't want to have that regret. If you can retire now, be sure to watch this video to talk, even if you can't. If it's motivational and gets you goal setting and thinking about things, think about watching this video here and retiring as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. I'm Azul. Bye-bye.